A white person is going to win every acting award, a man is going to win Best Director, and Brokeback Mountain is going to be snubbed once again. For more bold predictions such as these, please enjoy my 2016 Oscar predictions, loudly explained.
Loudly explained!
Howdy gang, we've got 24 categories to cover, and if you're participating in an Oscars betting pool, a $10 gift certificate to AMC may very well hang in the balance, so let's get right to it. Best Visual Effects. This is the category where big explosion movies can manage to get a token nomination. It's because of this category that Transformers 3, The Lone Ranger, and The Desolation of Smaug are all Oscar-nominated movies. However, this year, all the movies nominated in this category are actually good. And in fact, Star Wars The Force Awakens is among them, even though it wasn't nominated for Best Picture, and therefore is not as good as Leonardo DiCaprio crawling around a forest for 2.5 hours. Still though, this is the category where 6,000 old white men tend to reward the movies that people actually saw. So, Star Wars, tell the Force to wake up one last time, cause may the Oscar be with you! Best Film Editing is the category where you go to the bathroom while some sweaty guy you've never heard of gives a speech for too long. But, for the first time in nearly a decade, you might go to the bathroom while a sweaty woman you've never heard of gives a speech for too long. Because I'm predicting that Margaret Sixel will be acknowledged for her work on Mad Max Fury Road. After all, someone deserves to be recognized for that badass flamethrower guitar. This is the category which tends to reward period pieces you didn't know existed, featuring a bunch of white people wearing powdered wigs. This year the competition is particularly stiff between Mad Max Fury Road and Cinderella, begging the question, what would actually happen if there was a battle between Mad Max and Cinderella? I would bet on Mad Max, except if Fury Road is any indication, it means that you should never underestimate the women that Max interacts with. Otherwise you might end up with glass slippers jammed in your corneas. However, I am going to have to give this category to Mad Max Fury Road because, after all, once again, flamethrower guitar guy. Best Makeup and Hairstyling is a little bit weird because it always only has 3 nominees. What's the deal, Academy? Doesn't every movie need hair and makeup? Where's the Fabulousness Lobby, or the Fabulobby, when you need it? Additionally, the other weird thing about this category is that this year, one of the nominees is called The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. Can you imagine if every movie nominated had a title that descriptive? You know, some people think that Leonardo DiCaprio gets mauled by a bear and then crawls around for a little bit afterward is going to win this one. But my money's on Imperator Furiosa forges an alliance with Max Rockatansky in order to outrun Immortan Joe in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. With a badass flamethrower guitar guy. I feel like Best Cinematography does not get enough credit as a category, especially considering the fact that it encompasses half of the movie experience. But, because that half of the experience does not include the script, I believe this will go to The Revenant, which is very visually striking. As Leonardo DiCaprio would say, the visuals are really good! This award recognizes achievement in art direction. That includes props! Okay, and also Mad Max is just a generally beautiful film. But we all know why it's really gonna win. Another year, another generation of people who will Google what is the difference between best sound mixing and best sound editing to no avail. Someone really needs to write the definitive article on that. But it can't be me because I also have no idea. The most interesting thing to happen in either of these categories was 3 years ago when one of the awards ended up being a tie.
We have a tie. No BS, we have a tie.
That is the sound of the entire movie industry reacting to the most shocking news since learning that the best movie released that year was Argo. I mean, it's okay, but it's not even the best movie ending in the word Argo. It's also not the best movie where John Goodman plays a powerful figure in the entertainment industry. In fact, the only thing it does achieve is that it is the best movie that says the title of itself followed by the phrase, F*** yourself. Somehow Zero Dark 30, F*** yourself, just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. In any case, both of these awards will go to Mad Max Fury Road, F*** yourself. So just when we thought Lady Gaga's career was in decline after Art Pop, it turned out she was just getting good at everything else in the meantime. She won a Grammy for her jazz album with Tony Bennett, a Golden Globe for her acting performance in American Horror Story Hotel, and a Chandy Award for Best Satan Impression at the Super Bowl. Now it looks like she might just win an Oscar for her original song Till It Happens to You from the documentary The Hunting Ground. This is a documentary about alleged sexual assault cases on college campuses. And it makes sense that Lady Gaga is going to be recognized for this, because after all, when women in the recording industry speak out about sexual assault, we expect justice to be served. Ennio Morricone is going to win this award for his score to The Hateful Eight for 2 reasons. One, he's been nominated 5 times before and never won. In fact, he wasn't even nominated for his score to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So now Morricone be looking at the Oscar like... Reason number 2 is that he's old as f***, and the Academy loves getting old motherfuckers to hobble their asses on stage and mumble incoherently to polite laughter. But of course, if the Golden Globes are any indication, Quentin Tarantino might just accept the award on his behalf and yell incoherently to polite laughter, which will still be pretty fun. Dude, I don't know. Sanjay's Super Team? Dude, I don't know. Ave Maria? Dude, I don't know. Body Team 12? Amigo, no sé. Hijo de Saúl? I actually saw one of these for once. Amy was an immersive yet haunting portrait of a star gone too soon. I believe it will win. And I hope it does, because I want to see Amy Winehouse's legacy preserved, but also I really don't want to have to watch Winter on Fire, Ukraine's fight for freedom. Sorry, Max. This award will obviously go to the movie released this past summer that touched children and adults' hearts alike with its remarkably original premise. I'm of course talking about Shaun the Sheep movie. It's like, why didn't someone else think to make a Shaun the Sheep movie before? Just kidding, Inside Out Forever. Ironically, Best Stolen Idea will go to The Big Short. I should write a Vice article called, Why the Big Short is More Problematic Than You Think, and then have half of it be quotes from other people's tweets. The award for Best Original Screenplay is probably going to go to the writers of Spotlight, which is a movie about the writers of the Boston Globe, who themselves spend most of the movie researching court cases documented by other writers. This is the most inside baseball screenplay nomination since Moneyball, and that was literally about inside baseball! Best Supporting Actress will go to Alicia Vikander, who played Gerda Wegener in The Danish Girl. But she will narrowly lose the battle for most difficult to pronounce name to Saoirse Ronan as Eilish Lacey in Brooklyn. Now I'm just waiting for Quvenzhané Wallis to play Chiwetel Ejiofor's daughter in a biopic about Kalamam Atlanti. Ciao. Speaking of difficult to pronounce names...
Hi, my name is Rocky Balboa, the Italian Stallion.
Nuff said. Brie Larson will win for Room.
Hope, react, walk, speak, wiggle out.
I want you to close your eyes. Picture a man whose acting career has spanned decades, who's been nominated for an Oscar multiple times before, but never won, who's worked with such acclaimed actors and actresses as Kate Winslet, Tom Hanks, and Jack Nicholson, who's worked with the directors Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese, whose acclaimed performance in The Departed didn't even receive an Oscar nomination. And now, he's nominated once again for a film-carrying performance about a man stuck in a desolate wasteland. Now, the man I'm talking about is not going to win an Oscar this year, because, open your eyes, I'm talking about Matt Damon, star of the hilarious comedy The Martian. Yeah, his performance was pretty good, but where were the killer bears and lack of emotional variety? Leo for The Revenant. When Alejandro González Iñárritu wins Best Director for The Revenant, it will be the first time in over half a century that the same director has gotten that prize 2 years in a row. Additionally, Mr. Iñárritu will go down in history as the first person of color... No, yeah, I was done. Because based on the other nominations, the Academy seems to believe that he is the first person of color. By the way, YouTube, there is a comment section. Don't forget, have at it. This year, the race for Best Picture is truly up in the air. The only way it could be more up in the air is if Up in the Air was nominated again. But That'd be kind of dumb. Anyway, the race is between Mad Max Fury Road, Spotlight, The Big Short, and
The Revenant.
Ultimately, I predict the gold will go to
The Revenant.
I didn't really like,
The Revenant.
but honestly I hope,
The Revenant.
wins just so that I can hear Harrison Ford say,
The Revenant.
one last time. And that's it. Those are all the predictions. Leave a comment to tell me how stupid I am. And also, let me know if there's anything else you'd like to hear loudly explained. Does this mean anything for us here in the United States? Because as with any news story, if it doesn't directly affect us right now, we'll learn a little bit about it, but then we're going to go right back to posting our hilariously fresh takes on the Bernie versus Hillary meme.